Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain about the problems on off-air rectifier. So here I am taking the problem number 1 here. So whatever the problems we are discussing, that is on off-air rectifier or full-wave rectifier, on bridge rectifier, or all the rectifiers with filters, that is L-section filter, pi-section filter, inductor filter and capacitor filter. If you want to do the problems on these topics, means we have to thorough with the formulas whatever we have for the average value, ripple factor value and efficiency, and DC power delivered and AC power delivered. We have different formulas for the different off-air rectifier, full-wave rectifier and bridge rectifiers. Okay, so these formulas are given in my previous discussions about the comparison of all the filters. Okay, so here I am going with the problems here on the off-air rectifier. Problems on off-air rectifier. So here, what is the first problem we have is an AC supply of 230 volts is applied to a off-air rectifier through the transformer turns ratio, that is 5:1. Assume the diode is ideal. The load resistance is 300 ohms. Then find the DC output voltage, peak inverse voltage, maximum and average power delivered to the load. So here first we have to see the problem here, whether the given voltage is the peak voltage or the primary winding voltage. Whenever the primary winding voltage is given, they will give the turns ratio. Okay, so here what is the voltage they have given is nothing but AC supply voltage. So if you consider the off-air rectifier, here we are using step down transformer. So that step down transformer will be like this. Here we have step down transformer. So here we are applying 230 volts, that is given in the problem. So here we have Vs, that is secondary winding voltage, and Vp is nothing but the primary winding voltage. Okay, and now we are considering here the given value is AC supply of 230 volts. So that means what is given here? The primary winding voltage is given. So that is, and a off-air rectifier through the transformer turns ratio. So if you consider this one is the primary winding and this one is the secondary winding, N1 is the number of turns that are present in primary winding and N2 is the number of turns that are present in the secondary winding, then what is the relation between the primary winding voltage and primary winding turns ratio? That is the voltages of primary and secondary windings and their turns ratio relation is here we have, that is N1 by N2 is equal to Vp by Vs. So here what is given, that N1 by N1 is to N2 is equal to 5:1, the turns ratio. And next the AC supply voltage given is 230 volts. So that one will consider as primary winding voltage and it is 230 volts. And the load resistance is given as 300 ohms. So this is the given data. Whenever if you see the problem, we have to write the given data, right? So after that given data, we have to apply our formulas, our known formulas, whether they will shoot for this problem or not. Okay, or the given data. So here we have N1 is to N2, that is 5:1, and the primary winding voltage is given as 230 volts and RL is equal to 300 ohms. So these are the given values, but what we have to calculate here, that is nothing but DC output voltage. So whatever you have to calculate, that is VDC, that is DC voltage, or IDC, okay, you have to know the VM value, that is peak voltage value, right? So therefore first to calculate the peak voltage of the secondary winding, first we have to find out what is the secondary winding voltage. So here it is given that primary winding voltage is given and at the same time the turns ratio is given. So what we have to calculate, the secondary voltage, secondary winding voltage Vs we have to calculate. So therefore we have the relation between the primary winding, secondary winding voltages and the turns ratio as like this. So this is the very important formula for this type of problems, right? So that is N1 by N2 is equal to ratio of turns ratio, that is N1 by N2 primary turns ratio, primary winding turns ratio N1, and at the same time secondary winding turns is N2, then what is the relation between these two is nothing but N1 by N2 is equal to Vp by Vs. So Vp here is nothing but the primary winding voltage or the supply voltage that is given. So here N1 by N2 is nothing but 5:1, that is 5 by 1, and Vp is what? That is primary winding voltage is 230 volts here I am writing, and what I have to calculate is the secondary winding voltage. So therefore if I substitute these values, I will get 5 by 1 is equal to 230 by Vs. Okay, so therefore here the transformer secondary voltage Vs is equal to, if you cross multiply this one, so Vs is equal to 230 by 5 volts. So if you calculate this one, it is 46 volts we will get. So now we got the transformer secondary voltage, but we didn't got the peak value. Peak value is nothing but Vm. Okay, so this is nothing but the transformer secondary voltage what we have, but we have the relation between the transformer secondary voltage and the peak value or the Vm. Okay, so therefore the maximum value of the secondary voltage is Vm is equal to root 2 times of Vs. Okay, so root 2 times of Vs. Generally it is from RMS value we have is Vm by root 2 for the secondary winding. So here we require Vm is equal to, that is RMS value of the secondary, or we can also call that one as secondary winding voltage. Therefore Vm is equal to root 2 into Vrms, or we can write Vs. Right, so that's what here I have written, that is Vm into root 2 Vs. Okay, so maximum value of secondary voltage Vm is equal to root 2 into Vs, or we can also call this one as Vrms value of the transformer secondary. So the transformer secondary voltage is nothing but 46 volts we got. Therefore the peak value Vm is equal to root 2 into Vs, that is 46 volts. If you find out this value, you will get 65 volts. Okay, once if you got the peak value or the maximum value, we can find out VDC. Okay, so VDC and IDC, that is DC voltage and DC current, all those things we can calculate. DC power and AC power also we can calculate. Okay, so therefore here we got the Vm. Here we got the Vm. Next what we have to calculate, what is the first problem here is DC output voltage. So DC output voltage, our average voltage we can be represented with VDC. Okay, VDC is equal to, for an half-wave rectifier, it is Vm by pi. So Vm already we have calculated, that is Vm by pi. So VDC is equal to Vm by pi. So that is 65 by pi. Its value is 20.7 volts. Okay, so that is about the DC output voltage calculation. And what about this one, peak inverse voltage? So we have the formula that directly that peak inverse voltage of an half-wave rectifier is Vm, and for full wave rectifier it is 2 Vm. So here we have half-wave rectifier, that PIV is nothing but we will consider as peak inverse voltage of diode, that is equal to Vm. Vm value is what we have, 65 volts. So that is about the peak inverse voltage. Next what we have to calculate here, maximum and average power delivered to the load. Okay, so if you know the maximum current, automatically you can find out the maximum power delivered. That is maximum power delivered is nothing but Im square into RL. Okay, what we have to calculate here, maximum power delivered to the load we have to calculate. Therefore if you find out the maximum current and if you multiply that one Im square with RL, you will get what? The maximum power delivered to the load. Okay, here why we are considering RL means the maximum power delivered to the load we have to calculate. So that's why here we have maximum load current is equal to Im. Im is equal to Vm by RL. So here it is nothing but Im is equal to, actually here we have Im is equal to Vm by RL plus RF plus RS. Actually this is the formula, but here it is given that the diode is ideal. Okay, So for the ideal diode, RF is equal to 0, and if you neglect the RS value, that is secondary winding resistance, so this formula will become here RF is equal to 0 and RS is also negligible. So therefore Im is equal to Vm by RL, right? So that is equal to Vm is 65 and RL is nothing but given as 300 ohms. So if you calculate this one, you will get 0.217 amperes. Okay. So what is the maximum load current that is delivered? Im is equal to Vm by RL, that is 65 by 300, that is 0.217 amperes. Okay. So that is about the maximum current only we have calculated. So now what I have to calculate? Maximum power delivered to the load. So maximum power means what? Generally we have the power is equal to P is equal to I square R. So power P is equal to what? I square R. So what we have to calculate? Maximum power is nothing but Im square RL. Right. So here that is the formula what we are going to use here. The maximum value of the power delivered to the load is equal to Im square RL. So Im already we have calculated, that is 0.217 amperes whole square multiplied with RL is 300. So if you calculate that one, you will get 14.1 watts. Okay. So now what we have here, the average value of the load current. Right. So because here we have to calculate, the next one is what? Average power delivered to the load. Average power delivered to the load means we have to find out average current. Okay. So average current we have to find out. Average current is equal to IDC. IDC is equal to VDC by RL. Right. So therefore we have the formula IDC is equal to VDC by RL. So VDC is obtained as 20.7 by RL, that is nothing but 0.069 amperes. Okay. So now what we have here, we have to calculate the power delivered to the load, or DC power delivered to the load, or the average power delivered to the load, that is equal to I square R. Here DC power we have to calculate, therefore it is IDC square into RL. So that is IDC square. IDC square is what? IDC is 0.069 and it is whole square multiplied with 300. So you will get 1.43 watts. Okay. So this is about the problem that is given here and its solution. Right. Now we are moving to the next problem, that is problem 2. Okay. So what is this one is given is a half-wave rectifier having a resistive load of 1000 ohms. Okay. Having a resistive load of 1000 ohms rectifies an alternating current an alternating voltage of 325 peak value. So what is the difference between this problem and this problem? Here it is mentioned that 325 peak value, but here it is mentioned that an AC supply of 230 volts. So that is the difference between this problem and this problem. In this one, that's why they have given the turns ratio, but here it is not given the turns ratio. Directly they have given the peak value. Here we have to calculate the peak value to measure all the parameters, but here it is not given. It is given directly, that is peak value, instead of AC supply and turns ratio. So this is one model that is regularly asking in generally in BTech examinations, right? So but here we have another problem also there. Okay, so here we don't know the peak value. Here we don't know the peak value. Okay, we have to calculate from the supply voltage and the given turns ratio. We have to calculate by using this formula, but here it is not the case. Directly they have given, right? So that is the difference. And the diode has forward resistance of 100. That is what here we have. Here it is ideal diode. That's why we have considered the diode resistance equal to 0. But here in this problem it is given that the diode resistance is 100 ohms. Okay. So here this is the problem. Then what we have to do? Calculate peak value, average value, RMS value of the current. Okay. Next, DC output power, AC input power and efficiency. These 4 parameters we have to calculate. Okay. So now given that load resistance is what? That is a resistive load of 100 ohms. So that is nothing but RL equal to 100. So and at the same time the peak value, that is input AC voltage peak value Vm is equal to 325 volts it is given, right? And at the same time the forward resistance of diode is nothing but 100 ohms. So therefore RF is equal to 100 ohms. First what we have to calculate here, the peak value of the current. Peak value of the current means what? Im. Im is equal to what I have given here. Im is equal to Vm by RL plus RF plus RS. Okay. So actually here it is Im is equal to Vm by RL plus RF plus RS. So here we are neglecting the secondary winding resistance because it is not given in the problem and it is very less. So we will neglect that. Therefore, if I neglect this RS, that is secondary winding resistance, our formula becomes Im is equal to Vm by RL plus RF. Okay. So therefore, the peak value of the current Im is equal to Vm by RF plus RL. So it is nothing but Vm is given as 325 and here we have 100 plus 1000, that is 1100. So if you divide this one with 1100, you will get here 295.45. Here you will get me in terms of milliamperes because here we have 1100 and it is 325. Okay, so I will get in terms of milliamperes, right? So next what we have here, average current. So already we have seen that average current is equal to average voltage is equal to Vm by pi, but here we have to calculate average or DC current. IDC is equal to Im by pi. So what is Im we got? It is 295.45 by pi. So this is the formula and we are substituting here, that is 295.45 by pi milliamperes. Okay. Here we are dividing with only pi, so you will get the as it is units. So therefore it is 94.046 milliamperes if you calculate, right? So the next one is what? The value, RMS value you have to calculate. RMS value of current is equal to, for an half-wave rectifier it is Im by 2. For an half-wave rectifier, RMS value of current is equal to Im by 2. Im is already we have calculated, that is 295.45 milliamperes. By 2, if you do that, if you divide with by 2, you will get 147.725 milliamperes. So this is about the first question what we have. Okay. Now we'll go with the second one, DC output power. Once if you calculate IDC, you can easily calculate the DC power delivered, that is nothing but IDC square into RL. So that's what here we have considered. The DC output power is equal to PDC is equal to IDC square into RL. What we got IDC here? IDC is equal to 94.046 milliamperes. So I am taking here 94.046 into milliamperes means 10 power minus 3 whole square multiply with 100. Okay. So that is what here we can calculate is 8.845 watts. So because it is DC power delivered. So next what we have here, AC input power. So we have the formula that AC input power is equal to IRMS square multiply with RL plus RF. Okay. So that is IRMS square multiply with RF plus RL. RF plus RL is equal to 1100 and IRMS is nothing but IRMS we got is nothing but 147.725. Therefore it is 147.725 into 10 power minus 3 because it is milliamperes whole square multiply with this one is the 1100. So if you multiply this, you will get 24 watts of power, that is AC power. So what is the final one here? Efficiency of the rectifier. So generally the efficiency is nothing but DC power delivered. It is the ratio of DC power delivered to the AC power multiply with 100. So therefore it is PDC by PAC multiply with 100. So PDC is what? Here we got 8.845 and PAC is what we got is 24. So that you will get, if you multiply that one with 100 because we requires efficiency, right? So how much percentage of efficiency you will get is 36.85%. Okay. So this is about another problem we have when there is no AC supply voltage and turns ratio is not given. So here we have discussed the two models. That is, one is directly they have given AC supply and turns ratio. Then we have to find out the VM and after that all the calculations. But here it is not the case. Here already it is given as peak value. There is no need of calculating this peak value. And at the same time one difference is there. Here it is considered as ideal diode. For ideal diode RF will be 0 we will consider. But here it is given as the forward resistance RF is equal to 100 ohms. This is the difference and different models that is given on half-wave rectifier. Now we'll move on to the next problem, that is problem number 3. So here what is problem given is an half-wave rectifier has a load of 3.5 kilo ohms. If the diode resistance and the secondary coil resistance together have a resistance of 800 ohms and the input voltage has a signal voltage of peak value to 40 volts. Okay, so this is the problem given. Then what we have to find out here, peak, average and RMS value of current flowing, and next one is DC power output and AC power input and efficiency of the rectifier. So this is nothing but the previous problem what we have discussed, the same model, but one difference is there, that is nothing but here it is given that previously only the diode resistance is given, but here we have both diode resistance and at the same time the secondary coil resistance is given. Okay, so what is the given data? First we have to write that one. So the given data is nothing but the load resistance value. The load resistance in an half-wave rectifier RL is equal to 3.5 kilo ohms. It is given as 3.5 kilo ohms. Okay, so now the diode resistance and secondary coil resistance combinedly. So if you consider diode resistance RF and secondary winding resistance RS, so combinedly that diode resistance and the secondary winding resistance is equal to 800 ohms, that is given. And here it is given that a signal voltage of peak value 240. So what I told, the peak value is nothing but Vm. Okay, so therefore the peak value of the input voltage Vm is equal to 240 volts. Okay, so now the peak value of the current we have to calculate. First question is what? If you know the peak voltage, we can also calculate the peak current also, right? So what we have to calculate here, peak value of the current flowing, first one. Okay, a bit the peak value of the current or average value of the current and RMS value of the current we have to calculate. The first one is peak value. Peak value of current is equal to Im is equal to Vm by Rs plus Rf plus RL. Okay, so what is the value here? Im is equal to Vm by Rs plus Rf plus RL. So it is given, RL is given and Rf plus Rs is combinedly given. So RL is 3500 and what we have for Rs plus Rf is here 800. So that is nothing but here 240 by 800 plus 3500, because Rs is equal to here 3.5, that is equal to 3500 ohms. Right? Rs plus Rf plus RL, so 3500 plus 800, that we have here is nothing but 4300. So here Im is equal to the peak value of the current Im is equal to 240 by 300. So this will be cancelled, and if you divide this one 240 by 430, so you will get what? 55.81 milliamperes. So this is the peak current what we are getting because of this 240 volts and the diode resistance 3.5 and at the same time Rs plus Rf we have is 800. Okay, so if you substitute these values, you will get the peak current is 55.81 milliamperes. So what we have to calculate next? Average value. So average value we have is IDC. Average value of the current is equal to IDC. So that is nothing but Im by pi. So already we have calculated Im value, that is 55.81, and if you divide that one with pi, you will get the DC current or average value of the current. So here we have average value of the current IDC is equal to Im by pi. Im is what here? 55.81 milliamperes. So that is 55 into 5.81 into 10 power minus 3 by pi. That is what we will get is 17.77 milliamperes. Now what we have to calculate, the next one is the RMS value. So RMS value of half-wave rectifier is equal to IRMS, that is equal to Im by 2. Already we have calculated Im value, that is 55.81. If you substitute that Im value, you will get what? The RMS value of the current. So the RMS value of the current IRMS is equal to Im by 2. So therefore Im is 55.81 into 10 power minus 3 by 2. So we'll get here it is what? 27.905 milliamperes. This is nothing but RMS value of the current. So the first question is that one. Second question is what? DC power output. And if you know the DC current, you can easily calculate the DC power output, that is IDC square into RL. So IDC already we have calculated, that is nothing but average value of the current, it is 17.77. So the DC power output is nothing but IDC square into RL. So that is IDC square is 17.77 into 10 power minus 3 whole square, multiply with RL is 3500. So what you will get here 1.105 watts. So next what we have to calculate AC power input. AC power input we have the formula that is nothing but IRMS square multiply with RF plus RL. So here it is IRMS square RF plus RL. So you'll get here that is 4300. Okay. So if you substitute this one IRMS square, so that is what IRMS is 27.905 whole square. Milliampere is there, so we have to substitute here 10 power minus 3 and it is whole square multiplied is 4300. So actually it is IRMS square RL plus RF plus RS. Okay, RL plus RF plus RS, that is nothing but PAC. So here we have also RS plus RF plus RL. So you'll get what? 3.348 watts if you simplify this one, right? So the next one is efficiency. So efficiency we have to calculate. Efficiency of the off-way rectifier is nothing but, or any rectifier is PDC by PAC. DC power delivered by AC input power. So PDC by PAC. PDC we got is what? 1.105 by 3.348. So you multiply with 100. So you will get 33%. The efficiency of this rectifier is 33%. Okay. So this is the problem number 3. So these are the 3 models that will have on off-way rectifiers. Okay. Thank you for watching. Subscribe our channel.